Picture this. One morning, in the capital, the city gates slam shut. The armories are raided. Men with weapons materialize on the streets like NPCs flipping from shopkeeper to assassin mode. By nightfall, the Empire has a new boss. Everyone's asking the same thing. Where did these thousands of loyal fighters suddenly come from? They weren't in the barracks. They weren't on payroll. Nobody saw them drilling in a field. But when the signal came, they appeared out of nowhere. This is the story of Sima Yi and his family pulling off one of the slickest power grabs in history, using an invisible army of 3,000. It's not just a coup story, it's a crash course in timing, deception, and how to win without ever looking like you're trying. Let's rewind. The empire we're in is called Wei. Founded by the Cao family, it's supposed to be stable. On paper, the emperor rules. In practice, the emperor is a kid named Cao Shuang. His regents are supposed to run things responsibly. Instead, you've got a turf war between two sides. Cao Shuang, the flashy but sloppy strongman who thinks holding the emperor's hand makes him untouchable, and Sima Yi, the old fox who pretends to be half dead but is actually plotting like a Silicon Valley founder waiting for a rival's app to glitch. Cao Shuang has the emperor, the army, and the swagger. Sima Yi, he's playing the role of a senile retiree, frail, quiet, supposedly out of the game. He even stopped showing up at court, basically live streaming his decline to lower suspicion. It works. Cao Shuang writes him off as irrelevant. Big mistake. Because behind that facade of weakness, Sima Yi and his son Sima Yi are running the long con, quietly nurturing a network of hidden loyalists, dead men in the sense that they are ride-or-die followers who will do anything when called. Here's where it gets clever. You can't just line up 3,000 mercenaries outside the capital without raising eyebrows. Armies are supposed to be on rosters with weapons stored in state armories. Private armies? Illegal. Even a noble family like the Simas can't openly house that many fighters. So what do? They spread them out. The phrase historians use is scattered among the people. Think sleeper agents. Some look like farmers, some act like shopkeepers. Some are personal retainers, servants, or gatekeepers already inside the system. They're embedded, invisible, indistinguishable from everyone else. This isn't a standing army, it's a network. You don't see them until the network activates. Imagine if Uber drivers all secretly answered to one guy, and one day he pressed a button and they all showed up at the same spot. That's the level of coordination we're talking about. And because they're scattered, there's no obvious footprint. No drills, no barracks, no logistics trail. To outsiders, it looks like nothing. To the Simas, it's a loaded gun under the table.
The trigger moment comes when Cao Shuang makes the dumbest move of his career. He takes the emperor on a field trip to pay respects at a mausoleum outside Luoyang. That means he leaves the capital with most of his loyal guards and half the court. He thinks it's a show of legitimacy. What it really is, an unlocked server room. The second he's gone, Sima Yi and Sima Yi hit play on their plan. Step 1. Call in the invisible army. Suddenly, those farmers, retainers, and clerks grab weapons and report to their nodes. Step 2. Seize the armories. If your private network doesn't have swords, fine, just loot the government supply. Problem solved. Step 3. Lock down the city. Gates closed, bridges blocked, choke points controlled. Anyone loyal to Cao Shuang trying to come back? Good luck. The drawbridge is already up. Step 4. March to the palace and take custody of the Empress Dowager. With her signature on an edict, they can slap a stamp of legitimacy on everything. It's no longer a coup. It's a loyal rescue mission. By the time Cao Shuang realizes what happened, he's stuck outside, powerless, watching his career and family circle the drain. So how does an empire get hijacked in broad daylight without anyone noticing? 4 reasons. 1. Distribution beats visibility. A private army spread across society looks like nothing. 3,000 people hidden in plain sight are invisible until they're summoned. 2. Timing is everything. Cao Shuang's little road trip was the perfect window. In modern terms, it's like pulling a corporate takeover while your rival is on vacation. 3. Control the keys, not just the swords. Sure, weapons matter, but the real win was grabbing the gates, the bridges, and the Empress Dowager. Whoever holds the choke points and the signature holds power. 4. Perception management. Sima Yi's act of being old and frail lulled his rivals into thinking he was finished. Playing dead wasn't just theater, it was strategy. Let's translate this into something you can actually use. Hidden assets are stronger than visible ones. Don't brag about your resources. Build quiet networks, loyal talent pools, or reserve cash. When you need them, you can activate without warning. Timing matters more than volume. You don't need the biggest army, budget, or team. You need to strike when the other side is least prepared. Control infrastructure, not just headlines. In politics, it's bridges and armories. In business, it's distribution channels, supply chains, and server access. Appear weak to buy time. If you look too strong too soon, people try to crush you. If you look weak, they ignore you, until it's too late. By the end of the day, the city belonged to the Simas. The emperor was sidelined, Cao Shuang was finished, and an invisible army had proven that power doesn't always march in armor. It slips through unnoticed until the trap closes. The real lesson? Most takeovers don't start with armies clashing in the streets. They start with networks you can't see, quiet influence at choke points, and rivals who underestimate the guy pretending to be asleep. Sometimes when the doors close, you realize too late. You were already locked out.